Where the Buffalo Roam was released in 1980. This is directed by Art Linson, written by John Kaye, and we have a cast including Bill Murray and Peter Boyle. It's because of Peter Boyle that I became aware of this, and I was quite keen to watch it because I know nothing about Hunter S. Thompson. It's semi-biographical, and I've got a problem with that, and I'll talk about that in a moment, and about his career, his rise to fame, and his relationships with various people. This takes place in the 70s, and that part of it I liked. I did feel like I'd maybe been transported back in time. But the issue I have is this semi biographical aspect. For two reasons. I went into this, as I said, knowing nothing about Hunter S. Thompson, his career as a journalist. I'd never heard of him. I don't recognize the name. So I was looking forward to learning about him, to getting to know the character. And I will say that Bill Murray gave a great performance. I have no idea if it's accurate to the true individual, but I did like the performance of the character. But because it's semi-biographical, I don't know what's true and what's fake. So I can't come away from this feeling like I now know a decent amount about Hunter S. Thompson's life and career, because I don't know what's factual and what isn't. And of course, if anybody has any thoughts on that, if you can highlight certain aspects that are definitely true and definitely not, please feel free to do so. But I went into it looking for that educational aspect, and I don't know what parts are educational. So I have to look at it in two ways. Was it educational? Well, yes and no. But did I enjoy it? Did I still find it entertaining? And honestly, the answer there is not really. I feel like maybe I would have found it more entertaining if I was already aware of the character and I wanted to see his story come to life. But with that being said, that's the other reason why semi-biographical is a bit of a problem, because if I was aware of the character, I'd probably be really irritated by the fabricated aspects of the narrative. Now, most biographical films have fabricated parts to them because it just helps the story flow if you maybe bring in a character who didn't exist or part of the narrative's altered slightly. That's fine, I don't have a problem with that. But if something's being listed as semi-autobiographical, I can't trust it in terms of being accurate because I don't know how factual it is. So going in with no knowledge, it's a problem that it's semi-biographical. But if I had a lot of knowledge, I would also be irritated by that aspect as well. So I just don't think that's ever a good decision. That's not unique to this film. In general, I think if you're going to tell somebody's story, it should be as close to the truth as possible. Otherwise, what's the point? So I didn't really find the actual narrative to be that entertaining. I did like the characters. I did like feeling like I'd been transported back in time a bit. But I can't say that it's educational, and I didn't really care for what was happening. So for me, it didn't work very well, other than having some interesting characters and a great cast. I really liked watching Peter Boyle, of course, and Bill Murray's brilliant. So it wasn't the worst experience, but I just can't trust it. I just can't trust the film, which is really unfortunate. Do I recommend it? Honestly, I have no idea. If you don't know anything about Hunter S. Thompson, I guess I'm thankful that I at least now know the name. So if I ever come across his name again, I'll at least have a little bit of background knowledge. So I'm grateful for that. Also, the film starts off with Home on the Range, and I'm going to be singing that all day, and I love it. I love it so much. It's such a good song. So that worked well. And I guess the technical aspects of the film are fine. I don't have any issues there. But it's difficult to know whether I recommend it or not, because if, like me, you're going in with no knowledge, it can be quite frustrating not knowing what to trust as being truthful or fabricated. And again, if you're knowledgeable about Thompson's life and career, unless most of it is factual, I'd say there's a good chance that you're going to be irritated by the fake stuff as well. So I guess I can sum this up by saying, watch it if you want, don't if you don't. I feel like you wouldn't be missing out on too much if you're not that bothered, but if you're curious, check it out. You might enjoy parts of it. I didn't love it. I don't think it worked very well, unless somebody wants to turn around and say, actually, it's 99% factual, in which case I'd say, okay, it's still maybe not the most enjoyable, but at least it would be more educational. And as I said, the performances are good. Don't know how accurate they are, but they're enjoyable to watch. I just didn't really care for the story itself, and then not being able to say how accurate it is, I didn't get a lot out of it. But if you're curious, check it out. But for me, other than the fact that it has put Home on the Range in my head, Where the Buffalo Roam just didn't really work very well.